Hello, boys and girls, and welcome along to Cairn Art Cabin in County Cavan in Ireland. And my name is Margaret McKenna. Now, I'm just checking to see if this is going online because I know sometimes my internet is a little bit slow to start, and sometimes the laptop can be a little bit lagging as well. So here we go. It's 12 o'clock. Yes. So just want to make sure it's all online first. So as I say, we're welcome along here to Cairn Cabin. And today we're going to paint and draw an Easter bunny. Now, this Easter bunny was a suggestion by Faith, one of the girls who comes along to my art class here, or I should say who used to come, but unfortunately we can't have any classes here at the moment, as you all know. So instead we're doing it all online, which is brilliant that we can. So also, I want you to know that I will hopefully work through all the suggestions you give me in the next few days, weeks, whatever we have. And so I already have a few suggestions here in my hat, or I should say in my tray. And at the end of the class, I'll pick out one for the next class. So if you have any suggestions along the way, and if I see them during the live stream, great, I'll put them in, and we'll pick it out for this class or for the next class. If not, I'll get them at the end of the class and I'll put them in for the next time, okay? So it's something to look forward to the end of the class to see what we're going to do. So today we're going to do an Easter bunny. And what we're going to use for materials is we're going to use a pencil and a rubber or a razor, depending where you're looking at from. Sometimes it's a razor, sometimes it's a rubber. And we're going to use paints. Now I'm using poster paints, which are very handy because they get out your clothes easy and you can wash your hands very easily. But you could use acrylics, but make sure you wear something that's really old because it gets into your clothes, it's very hard. You could also use crayons, you can use markers, you could use pencils, especially for something like this, but I'm going to use the crayons or the poster paints. So what do we start with? Now, the first thing I'm going to talk to you about, and I've talked to you before about this, is how to hold your pencil. Because when you hold your pencil for drawing, you don't do it like you do when you're doing it for writing. Because when you hold it with your pencil when you're writing, you hold it really tight. And you hold it down really low, and then it gets really heavy. So if you hold your pencil much lighter in your hand, so just if you do that, if you have a pencil and you just do this, get your pencil in your hand and do that, and make it really light and make your arm really light. So if you can all wave your hand, and it doesn't matter if you're a little kid or a bigger kid, or even if you're an adult doing it, do it, because I can assure you it's just as good for the adults. And just do that. Loosen your hand, nice and loose. Okay, first thing, get it nice and loose. And the reason is because you will do a nice light line. If you do a light line, it's easy to rub out, because some of these lines we're going to rub out because we won't need them at the end. Okay, so now having said all that, I'm going to do a dark line because I want you to see this. So if you're going to see it, you need I need a dark line, but you do it lighter than me. Okay, so just remember that, and I'll remind you along the way. So where do we start? Well, we're going to start with his head. And his head is really like a circle to start with. So I'm going to put it somewhere in the middle of the page, fairly high up. And I'm just going to go a little bit in front of this for a minute so that I draw a rough, proper circle. Otherwise, it'll end up like an oval. And you'll be wondering why I'm doing it all wrong, because I can't see it unless I do it in front of it. So here's a circle. Doesn't have to be very exact. Okay, now, can you see that? I might do that a bit darker, so you can see it there. Because it's hard for me to know how well you're seeing it. When I look at the screen, I can't really see it very well. Okay, so there we have it. Yeah, there we go. Now, I'm going to draw a line, just a little bit going down like that, halfway across. So it's not straight, it's a little bit down. Okay, and I'm going to do a line that goes right through his body like that. Do you see that? See there? If you can imagine, there's an invisible line goes from the top of his head all the way down, and then we'll get the right way he's going to be sitting. So he won't be sitting sideways. So I'm going to draw this. We'll work this out later. So we're going to draw a line like that, all the way down like that. Can you do that? You see? I'll just show this a little bit closer. And we bring it down to about there on the page, just about there. Now, underneath that circle, we're going to make a bigger circle. So this is a bigger one. I'll just go in front of it again a little bit. And you can, this line will make it handy because it's about halfway across the circle. You see? A little bit more on this side. A little bit more to this side. Right? And also now we're going to do another big circle below that. And that's going to come up from this one, and it's going to get big. It doesn't have to be exact. It can be a little flat, actually, a little flat on the bottom. Like that. So now that's really his basic body, really now, believe it or not. Hi, Karen, and hello to Karens, Karen, and Poppin, how are you? Now, we're going to put we're going to start his face now. So we're going to put a little egg shape here like this. Just imagine, well, a fat egg shape. And make sure, look at how big it is. It's quite a big bit. It comes like that. See, now we have a quarter here in this circle. We have an egg shape here. And we're going to do another egg shape out like that there. Now, okay. And we're going to put an eye shape here. And an eye shape is just like another little egg. There's lots of little eggs really we're drawing. See? So we've got this there, and we've got this here. And now we're going to put another one over here. And remember, if you don't get all of this time, you can look back at this as a video when we're finished. So don't worry, it's all be there for you to look at afterwards. So now what we're going to do is I'm actually going, oh no, before I use the rubber, I might just put this bit here. And this is like a big egg stuck to the side of his leg. It's like a big egg shape there, look. And that's going to be the top of his thigh. And we do one more bit over here. And it's just like a little bit sticking out like that. Okay, you see that? Now we're going to put his feet, and his feet are like a big flat shape. So it's just like a big bar, big fat bar. And another one here, but we won't, this one will kind of go behind the egg, but we'll put it in for now anyway. Just like that. We're nearly drawing him now, except his arm. Well, we won't put his arm just in yet, so we'll do a bit of rubbing out. And we can put his tail in. And his tail can be just like a shape like that. Lots of sort of egg, almost like egg shapes or bits of egg shapes. Now we're going to take out our rubber. We'll put in his ears in a minute, but we'll get out the rubber first because we don't need this big long line. So we can rub out the big. This is why you have to do your line really light, like I told you, not like me. I'm doing it dark so you can see it. Much easier if you have it light so you'll be able to rub it out. So we're going to rub out this big long line that goes up through his head. We don't need it anymore. Now that we've done that, we can rub it out. Okay, now, as I said, it's going to be harder for me to rub it out because I have to do it light, dark. And we can rub out this bit in the middle. See this bit here in the middle? We can rub out these ones where the two circles go on top of each other. We can rub that out now like that. And we can rub out the line that goes through these eggs here. We can rub these lines out. The two lines here. And we can rub out, in fact, we can rub out all those lines inside. And basically keep it all as like that. I'll show you now when we finish this, and you can see what I've left. I'm going to just make sure I didn't rub down too much there. Now, so now we've got all these lines rubbed out here. You see? We've just got his eye. Oh my, really rubbed out his eye. Poor fella, he had no eye there for a minute. See? And we've rubbed out these lines here. Now, we're going to just connect these up a little bit. So we put a little line there, and a little line there, and a little line there. Now all he needs is ears, and he needs his arms. His arms are quite easy, so because we just bring a line down like that, and we can come across like that, and a little bit like that. And there's one arm. His other arm is just like a little wiggly one here like that. See? I could just put that up close so you can see it a bit better. Okay. Now his ear, we're going to have an ear. One ear will come over this side, just like a big, just like that shape. Big kind of a sausagey sort of shape. And we'll do another one over here. But I'm going to actually bend this one around. So I'm going to put one like that. Okay, see like that? And then we're going to come and put another one overlapping on that like that. So we put a little bend on his ear. So we do this shape first, and then we put this shape. And we can rub out that line then, you see, in the middle. So we're... Now, yes, I have Easter eggs coming up now in a minute, yeah. Now, we're going to, hi Sue, and we're going to put a big Easter egg here at the bottom. A big fat Easter egg. So we put a big egg shape there, like that. And we can rub out the inside where his foot is behind it, because his foot is behind it, see? So a nice big egg shape there. And I have a basket. So his basket is just like little line coming down like that. I'll come down a little bit lower. 2 little lines actually. So that's the little basket, the handle. And I'm going to just put a shape just like that. And we'll stick it. Imagine it's going through the egg shape. Imagine if you could draw all the way through there, and you see it'll come out the other side there like that. And we can put a couple of little eggs in the basket. So little 1, 2, 3, just like that. Now what are we to do? We're to do his nose. Yes, we have to do his nose. So his nose is like a little shape, like a little V. Look, a little V. See? And then we put a little, or I should say a Y really, put a little Y shape like that. And we can put a little mouth shape like that. Now, so his eye, the inside of his eye is just another little circly bit here, and a little circle inside that, and a little circle in there, and a little circle in there. So we have a circle and a circle and a circle and a circle, and it's kind of stuck to the edge of the eye. You see? It's stuck to the edge of the eye. Now, what we do next is we can start to paint now. So as I say, I'm using poster paints, and the poster paints I'm using yellow for the sun. So we can use crayons. Crayons be perfect. Pencil crayons be perfect. All kinds of. You can use anything you want really to color in. It's quite an easy one this week, this day. So I'm going to use some. I'm going to start with some yellow. Now, here we go with the yellow. Just make sure there's any more questions or anything, because I missed them the last time. No, there's 5 comments. Okay, hold on a minute. Oh, maybe that's okay. All right, okay. Just making sure I can get people's comments as I go along. Sometimes I might miss them, but I'll see them afterwards, so don't worry about it. And I'll answer anything then. And if you have any suggestions, please give me suggestions as to what you'd like to do for the next class as well, please. Now, we're going to put a sun in. So I'm going to just put a little line like that, just like a little semicircle line like that. And I'm just going to color it in. It's very straightforward. Now, as I say, you can do this in crayons, pencil crayons, any kind of, anything you want to paint in. And I'm going to put some nice rays coming out of it. And when you do the rays of the sun, make sure they're always coming in, like as if you're looking into the middle. So you've got a line going that way and it goes in this way, like the hands of a clock. If you think of a clock, and you know the way you have the hands of the clock and you have the minutes and all, it goes right around the clock. So if you look at a clock, it looks a bit like that, like this. Now, there we go, just like that. Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to put the sky in. Now, when I did the sky, I'm not putting a whole big lot of blue. You can, if you want, you can color the whole thing in blue if you want, but I'm just going to make it look like a few little, that you know that there's a sky there. And I'm just putting wavy blue lines. So it's just like that. Just like it looks like a blue sky. And you can go right up to the side of the bunny if you want. And for the grass, I'm not going to put, I'm not going to color it all in. You can do whatever you want. You can color it all in if you want to. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the green, my green color. And this is quite easy. It's handy if you're doing crayons and if you're doing pencils, because you don't have to do the whole coloring it in, and it's quite tiring on your hand too. So I'm going to just put a little bit, a little up and down, little strokes like that. See? I'm just going to spread that to the grass like that. So you don't have to do the whole grass. You can just do little bits of the grass, but you still know what it is. Do you know, this would be lovely to do as a card. If you could get it and fold it over onto another. You could fold it, make it smaller, and put on a card and give it and send it to your and leave it for, you could have it for your nana or your granddad or some friend. And if you can't see them, you could show them it and leave it for them. Leave it in their letterbox maybe, and they'd love it, because maybe when you can't see them. So, okay, so we're going to get the green little grass all the way through here like that. Okay. So we cover the whole lot with the grass like that. So it makes it nice and simple, very easy to do. Now we're going to color the bunny. Oh, do you know what I didn't do? I never put in his bow tie. And I forgot about his bow tie. It's not bad now. So when I'm going to make a bow tie, what I'll do is this. While we're doing it, before I get the rest of the before we start to colour him in. Okay. So we just put a little triangle like that, and another triangle going the other way like that. See? So 2 triangles together, and we put a little roundy bit in the middle, and then we just put a line going up like that there, and that'll go underneath there. So now we have his little bow tie. So we have, or her little bow tie. She could be a little girl or a little boy bunny. It doesn't really matter. Now, so now we're going to start colouring the himself or herself. So what we're going to do is I use a little bit of white because he's kind of a white bunny, but I don't want to make him too white because you won't see him against the page. If you're using crayons, you could use a white with little flicks of other colour going through. Now I'm using yellow, so I'm making a slightly creamy colour. But if you're using pencil crayons you might have different shades, so you could use a very light off, or the white with little flicks of yellow going through it. Little tiny, when I say flicks, I mean just little dots, like just little strokes, because and when you're doing your painting, this is really important, make sure that you do work it like that. Instead of painting up and down, if you give small little strokes, it'll make it look furry. And you can make it quite thick. Don't use too much water. Not too much water. And you can just little baby strokes. And you can work all the way in here. And you can just colour them all up. And it doesn't matter. Sometimes you can be yellower. Sometimes you can be whiter. And I put a bit more white now through him. And I'm going to flick that all the way down through him. So just work away there. Like that. Oh, he's a bit yellow there, isn't he? So if it goes a bit yellow, don't worry about it. Just go over it with a bit of your white. And it doesn't matter if you go over your pencil lines a little bit, as long as you can just sort of barely see them is all you need to do. And I'm going to go, oops, there's a bit white there, a bit yellow I mean. So we just go back with a bit of the white and go right over his, all through here, all white. And again, you see how I'm doing little baby strokes? Because all the time it makes it look furry. Even if you can only barely see the strokes, it'll still make it look furrier than if you just go up and down. So lots of little strokes, and these are handy to know when you're older and you're doing painting. You paint exactly the same way. You use your brush and you hold your brush nice and far back. See the way I hold my brush? I don't hold it like a pencil. I'm holding it nice and light up near the top, because that's really important. It makes it much easier to paint, even though you mightn't think so. So practice when you're young, because you'll be able to do this when you're much older and when you're painting. It'll come in very handy. So now I'm going to put a bit up here. Oops, a bit of blue gone in that one. So I'll just put a bit more yellow and white. And a little bit there, and I put a little bit on his little ears here like that. Now I'm going to get a smaller brush, and I'm going to get a little bit of red. Did I put out any red? I didn't. That red is a bit dry. I'm just going to get a new bit of red out of the tub. A little bit of red. Get it out, that is. That's the trouble with the paints, it sometimes doesn't come out. And it comes out in one big blob, and that's what I don't want either. Tiny little bit is all I want. Great, lovely. Now, so we're going to paint his little bow tie. And I'm going to use a little brush for that. Now, what I'm going to do with him as well is, because remember the sun is in the sky, it's a lovely sunny day in this picture, as you can see. So if it's sunny, what we're going to have is some shadow on him. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my yellow and my yellow and my white mix that I used for his body, and I'm going to add a little bit of brown into it. So what I'm going to do is this. I'll show you now. I'm going to get a little bit of yellow, white, and a little bit of yellow. I make that kind of creamy color we had for his body. I'm going to add a little bit of brown into that. A bit more brown. This brown is a bit sticky. Now, so we're going to make it kind of a browny yellow color. And I'm going to start making a bit more brown in that, actually, because it's a bit light. Okay. And we're going to make, remember, the sun is here, so the shadow will be on the other side. If you have the sun on that side, the shadow is always on the other side. So the shadow is going to be on his right-hand side. So I'm going to put a bit of, and again, look at, I'm just doing little baby flicks along like that. I'm going to put a few little flicks down here. And down his bottom down here, and down on his bottom, on top of his leg. I'll put a bit more white in that because it's gone a bit too brown. And that's what you can do. And if you're doing it with pencil crayons, you can use a light browny color. Even you have different shades in it. Look and see what shades you have, what colors you have on your packet of colors. You can use crayons the same. You can use little bits of brown. But you see, you still use it the same way. You still do the little lines instead of doing like that. Do little small lines, so it makes it look like fur. You see. Now, hello Lorraine, how are you? So little and we're going to get down to the bottom of his foot like that, and underneath his belly we get a more shadow in here. And again, all the time, tiny little flicks. Because remember, it's going to be shadowed, it's going to be no sun there. So the sun won't be shining on us underneath. And we bring a little bit on this leg, because this leg is going to be a lot in shadow. So we put a little bit there, and we put his foot. Again, a shadow in there. A little shadow underneath his arm. And around his little paw. And on this side of his neck. In here like that. And this arm will be all shadow, except the very top of it, because the top of it is going to get the sunlight, and a little bit underneath here on his tummy, or on the bottom of it, under this before we get to his tummy. Just like that. You see the little flickers, and I'll show you now in a minute when I've got this done and show you up close so you can see what I'm talking about. And we'll put a little bit on his face, because he'll have a little bit under his chin. A little bit around his cheek, and just let that go back up into it, and very light. Another thing, just make it really, really light. Hi Vera, hello Janet. So really light, little light, look like light. So don't go heavy with your brush. Really important to just go little tiny light little bits, and then we can put a little bit on his ear, just like that, and we can make that longer because his ear is kind of long, and we make it look long, and a little underneath because it's shadow. Like that. Now remember, you can look back at this afterwards. So you know, just if you miss it now as you go along, don't worry. You can just come back and play it again. And we'll put a little bit on the side of his head. See, and a little bit here. Now I might put a little bit more white on his arm. His arm looks a bit dark, so I might put a bit more white on that arm. And you see, this is the thing. You can go back and forward too. You can go and make it darker. You can make it lighter. So. And we can put little flicks throughout it, like so. I'll show you up closer. So you can put little flicks in and out through it. Maybe, which way am I going? I can never get this camera right. Or I always go the wrong way. No, is that it? It's hard for me to see how clear you're seeing it here because it looks really bright on the screen. So I don't really know. Now, and I'll put a little shadow in there. And now you see he looks like roundy. You can see how he looks like a real bunny now, or like furry. Okay, so now we're going to colour in the basket. So the basket, I really just use a brown. It's a straight brown, so this is quite simple. Very simple, in fact. I want to put a little bit of colour on his eyes yet, but we'll do all that in a minute. We'll get the basket in first. So it's just brown. That's all I did. Just pure brown, and brown on his little handle, like that. So there we have the brown on the handle and the brown in the basket. Okay. Now we're going to come back with a little brush, and I had blue eyes on him. You can put whatever color eyes you want, and I have a bit of blue going around, just around the outer, because we've got two circles in his eyes. We've got the outer circle and the inner circle. And the outer circle is like the blue bit, or the whatever color eye. What could maybe you do the color eyes you have? If you've got brown eyes, if you've got blue eyes, if you've got green eyes, you can put whatever color eyes you want your bunny to have. And I'm going to put another little bit up here on this side. And we're going to put in the middle of his eye, we're going to make his pupil, you know, the black bit that goes in the middle? We're going to put that in here like that. Now, okay, and the last little bit on the bunny himself, before we go to do the eggs, is just want a little bit of pink on his nose. So how do you make pink, if anyone knows? I'll tell you, you put a little bit of red and you mix it with white. because red and white make pink. And we're just going to make a little bit of a pink nose. And we'll just put that up just a little bit above our little Y line. We'll put a little bit here as well. Just on the tip of his nose. So just a little bit of pink up there on his nose like that. Okay. Now we're going to start doing the egg. Now these little eggs are easy in the background. I just put 3 little colors. I had a green egg here, and this is very simple. Let's color them in. I had a red egg, like here. And I had a yellow egg. So I just want to rub that out. And I had a yellow egg here. Now, the harder egg is the big egg, because what we want to do is we want to make it look like it's going around. And that's the hard part. So what I do is I start with the middle one. So I'm going to get a red band around the middle. Now, watch this. What we're going to do is we're going to do a red band that's going to go, because remember the shape of the egg is round. If you're doing straight, it'll make it look flat. So what you want to do is you want to make it look round. So we're going to make it all the way around like that. So make a nice big red line going all the way around and around. It's like a C shape. Think of the letter C. You do the letter C, that's what you do. Make a red shape like that. Okay? Now, and what we're going to do then is I'm going to work from the outside, and I'm going to put a blue one beside that. Ooh, it's a bit too much. Like that. And again, it's like another C, but it's getting smaller. See, like that. Now you could go over these again. I'm just giving it one coat, but you could go and give it another coat as well. I'll paint. And then we're going to give another one here. Does anyone have any suggestions what they'd like me to do? 2, 3, 4, 5. I just want to see, I'm counting to see. Yeah, if you have any suggestions at all, let me know. If you see them, if I can see them here in the comments before the end of the live stream, I'll put them in the hat for the next time. And if I don't see them now, and if you think of any afterwards, please let me know, because I'll put them in for the next time, and we'll pick out another something to do, because it's nice to hear what you'd like to do rather than what I think you should like to do. Okay, so please let me know whatever you'd like to draw. I have a few suggestions there, and I'm going to pick one out at the end of the class. So we have a yellow line now, and again, remember, we're going this way now. I'm going, yeah, a little yellow here. It's going to go all the way like that, and I'm going to put another yellow one at the back here, like that. You see, it's like a C shape. Think of the letter C, and then we're going to put a green, and I'm going to put a green like this, going across like that. Okay, now so there's the green, and I'll stick in a little bit of green at the end there, just tiny bit. You won't really see it as much in this one as you would in the top one, but that's okay. And we're going to have a yellow at the end again. Okay, and you don't have to put the same colors. You can do your own colors. Remember, don't worry about that. Now, here we go. So there we go. Now all I have to do is we're going to get my black marker. I think that's everything. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to get a black pencil. Where's my black pencil? If you have a black, if you can use a dark, you could use a heavy pencil, like a good, you know, if you don't, now I'm after telling you to do it really light. So if you don't have a black marker or a black pencil crayon, you can use just a really dark pencil, and you could, or else have to go heavy on it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to outline this. Now this might be a bit, you might have to wait till it's dry if you're using paints. So I'll just show you a little bit now, and you can let it dry yourself, and you can come back and do it yourself afterwards. Because if it's very wet, like this egg here is quite wet, the body is quite dry. Think about poster paints, it dries very quick, so you won't have to wait too long. So, and it's lovely when you get the actual pencil on it. So what I'm going to do is come down like that, and I'm going to make it look at his belly here, right? The line here. But instead of making it smooth, if we make it jaggy like that, look, we make it look furry. When you look, see? I'll show you this up close. See how it looks like a furry? And we can do the same on the leg. We can start a little bit straight, and then we can go like in and out like that. And we can make the arms smoother because it won't be as long. The hairs won't be as long as that they would be at the belly. Now, if it's too wet, just leave it and come back to it. But I'm just going to show you what to do anyway. And we're going to come down the side. The back of the body will make the lines straighter because remember, he's more fluffed up at the front. You know, you have the fluffy little belly coming out, but we'll make a straighter line at the back. So we have his arm coming down like that. And we can put his paws, we can put his little paw lines in like that now. You see? And now his belly again, or his up at the top, we can make it nice and jerky like that. All the way down to meet there. So I'm just going to make that darker. Mine's a little bit wet, so probably not the best time to do it, but just so I can show you. See, you let yours dry. If you're doing it in pencil crayon or pencils, you're already, it doesn't matter. You can work away. Now, we're going to do this here around. So just go around everything. Now the basket, I'm going to put this leg as well. We can do a little bit on this leg as well. And we can make his foot nice, and we can make these just straight because he won't have furry feet. Well, his fur will be much shorter on his feet. You see, they're much shorter on the feet. Okay. So now on the basket, we can go around the basket. But what I want to do is this: I want to go a line across there, and we can make a line. Keep going the lines like that, and we can make them slightly wiggly lines like that. And then we can do wiggly lines going down like that. So it makes it look almost like it's a basket. See? And little, if you can put little lines up here, you can as well. So you can go lots of little lines, and you can make it look like it's a basket weave. You can more in between, and it'll give it look like a basket. So make them wiggly, which is easy to do. You can easily make things wiggly. Okay, now we're going to go around. We'll just go around the whole lot. We'll go around his back like that. Now his tail, I just have a shape like that. So we're going to come up straight. Watch now, I can see the angle here. I'm going to just see if I can get the angle right on this. I'll do it up here so you can see it. Okay, we're going to go straight up here like that. And then we're going to make it, just give it that furry look like that. So it'll give it a, just in and out, and it'll give it like a furry tail look. See? Like the way you see them doing it on cartoons. And the same on his head, we're going to just come around his ears. His ears can be done kind of straight. Like that. They don't have to do any fur so much on the ears. It wouldn't be as long a fur. We don't have to do it along here on this line. And we could do a straight line across the top of his nose. And we can do the little Y shape we had for his nose like that. You see? So we're just going back over the lines that we needed before, and these are straight along here. And his little mouth, like that. And we can go around his eyes, dark around the eyes. Now I add little eyelashes in too. So we can add a few little eyelashes if we want. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, like that. See? And we can put little eyebrows then as well. And we put the eyebrows a little more rounded than that. Like that. And we can go around the head. Now, this cheek, you just go around like that. His cheek, we're going to make it nice and furry as well. So what we're going to do is this. We're going to just get like this. We're going to do exactly the same. Now, mine is a bit wet. So we'll just, you can wait till it's dry and just do lots of little, do smaller ones rather than bigger ones because it makes it look like little small bits of fur. And then we can go around, his bow tie as well. Now, as I say, it's better to wait till it's dry, but at least you can look back on this and you can see what I've done, okay? Because mine is a bit wet too, so it's not great to do it when it's too wet. So that's why it's coming a bit off on the pencil. But you know, that doesn't matter because when you do this afterwards, just let it dry. It'll dry very, very fast. So that's the one good thing about the paint. It dries so fast to the poster paint. I'm just going to go around the egg exactly the same, all the way around here like that. I could use a hairdryer actually. Maybe that's what I should have done. Use a hairdryer is very good. If you have a hairdryer, it can dry it really fast. And we're going to go around in between the. We're going to go in between the all these lines like that. So just to make it more definite, that's all. You don't have to do this part, but it just makes it more definite. Now, the last little bit, what I did do is I used my dark pencil, or you can use an ordinary pencil and just shade it in. And I just shaded the bottom of the egg like that. And it just gives it and you can just shade in different directions. And at the very bottom like that, it just makes it look kind of like it's sitting on the ground and it's more roundy. It gives it a roundy look then. And you can bring it up a little bit up the side. Don't go too hard up the side like that. And we put little on his little toes, his toes. like that. And there we have it, really. Now, boys and girls, that's our oh, we need to do our eggs. Sorry, I'm just going around the eggs. Now, I say if you wait till yours is dry and then come back to it, it's even better. So, boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed doing that today. Now, before you go, I'm going to choose what we're going to do next time. So, I'm going to do another one on Friday at 12 o'clock, and we'll see what we're going to do then. So, I'm going to pick the name, something out of the hat here as my, well, it's a tray actually, and I'll see what we want to do, what we're going to do. Okay, I haven't a clue what I just picked. So, we're going to do a unicorn. And I had that twice suggested to me, actually. So we're going to do a unicorn today is Wednesday. I'm losing track of my days. Today's Wednesday, so we'll do a unicorn on Friday at 12 o'clock. So I hope you join me. And please, if you have any suggestions, let me know, because I really want to have this tray full of different suggestions of what you'd like to do. And on Friday, then we'll pick out another one to do for the weekend. Okay? So thank you so much, and I hope you really enjoyed it, and that you can remember you can look back at this anytime. So bye for now, and thanks again. Bye bye.